Aquarius, and welcome to your April 2020 Creativity Tarot reading. My name is Kayleigh Jean, and welcome to my channel. I record these readings for artists, entrepreneurs, and anyone who is working on their creative self-expression, personal growth, or spirituality in any way. So if those areas of life are important for you right now, go ahead and keep listening. I also want to say that you can use this reading for your sun, moon, or your rising sign, and it's also possible that sometimes they don't resonate because they are just general readings. Though a lot of times the feedback that I get is that if people come back to the video at the end of the month, a lot of times it actually does make sense with the themes and energies that they experience. So I encourage you to go ahead and do that if you're interested in seeing how these things play out. And let's get into your messages. So the message that I had coming through for you, Aquarius, was really twofold. The first part of it is really that I feel that there's something coming in your professional life that has a lot of value for you potentially. It holds a lot of potential. But the thing is, I think that you're going to have to overcome some kind of hesitation to like the sales and marketing side of things in order to really like harness that full potential. So if you're an Aquarius and you're a business owner or an artist or somebody who does something very creative, I think maybe the obstacle for you is perhaps in overcoming any blockage that you have to self-promotion. This is a very interesting message to be getting during a time when we are having like a global crisis when it comes to coronavirus and when it comes to, you know, the subsequent economic impact that this is having. But really that is what's coming through for you. So that's what I think that's one of the things that you can take from these events is actually that for you as a business owner or for you as an artist or a creator, what this whole thing is doing is it's really creating like a pressurized window of time for you where you're going to be really looking at your offerings if you're a business owner or your work if you're an artist. And you're going to be realizing all of the ways that you could actually be reaching more people than you have been or sharing more of your work and that you have been kind of like holding yourself back from in a way. And this can come from Aquarius, you know, especially if you have a lot of Aquarius energy in your chart. Aquarius is a very idealistic, kind of high-minded, forward-thinking sign, and it's also a very ethical sign. So all of the air signs are ethical at their core, and when you have a lot of focus on Aquarius in your chart, you can kind of have a tendency to hold yourself to unconscious standards that can go unquestioned, really, because they're sort of running in these kind of background programs in your subconscious mind where you might be feeling on some level there could be some sort of underground belief within you that promoting or marketing yourself or your services is somehow icky. And I think that this is super important if you're an Aquarius and you're a creative person or you're somebody who wants to embark on more of a creative lifestyle or to increase your income or to, you know, support your family or, you know, take care of yourself financially in some kind of improved way. This is such an important message for you. Like, this can be a life-changing message. I really mean it. Go beyond what you feel is like your knee-jerk response to like self-promotion, basically. Like whatever your limit is in terms of your comfort zone, like you might be comfortable sharing certain things about your work, or you might be feeling like, oh, you know, I am actually really good at this, so I'm happy to send out an email talking about this. But maybe you have a blockage to actually putting like a sale button like in the email, or maybe you have some kind of blockage to really like sending the email again if some people don't open it, or, you know, like there's this kind of persistence and this openness and this tenacity that I feel that spirit is kind of like reaching down through me while I was meditating to your energy, and it was like kind of reaching through saying like, yes, push yourself beyond what you think is permissible in terms of like marketing or self-promotion. I think that this is potentially a breakthrough time for you, and maybe in part this is happening as a result of, you know, all the new pressures that we have on our economy and on our entrepreneurs. So many people are experiencing disruption in their industries right now, and I think that like for you, one of the best things that you can do is recognize where you have actually not been sharing to your highest degree, or reaching your full potential in terms of like not being willing to post enough about things that you're working on, or like not being willing to kind of jump in and say, hey, actually I can help you with that when you hear someone explaining a problem that they have. Like this is really about you opening up even more to sharing about what you do. And marketing is not a dirty word. Marketing is so important, especially if you're a creative person. Marketing is how you're going to be able to do your work in the world. If you have rules within yourself that block you from really fully being able to express whatever it is that you're doing and whatever it is that you're working on, that is going to mean that you basically have to have like a second job or, you know, like it's a really important thing. It's the difference between being able to completely engage versus having to like do something else so that you can have your creative stuff on the side. So I think that this is a really important message for you, Aquarius, especially if you are an entrepreneur or a creative person. I think that it's really time for you to recognize the beauty of what you're doing and to crow about it. So let's get a look at your cards and we'll get some more information. And we're also going to get your Animal Spirit Oracle cards. Aquarius. And we're going to get you a Bob Ross message as well. Wow, so we've got Octopus as the path. And we've got Sea Serpent as the influence. So yes, this really makes sense. Yeah, this is a really very accurate reading in comparison to the meditation. So the octopus is your path. The light in this card, the color and the light in this card is mainly focused around the head of the octopus, really. And everything else in the picture is sort of dark. And there's a sense as well with the octopus card of being able to like stick to things. Those tentacles are really effective at clinging on to subjects, clinging on to, well, in the animal kingdom, obviously, like speaking about this creature, literally, they stick to rocks, they stick to things. But as a metaphor, the tentacles sort of represent like the stickiness within our own mind, and that can work in our favor. That kind of adhesion to an idea or a concept can be a strength, but it can also be a weakness. So this is about really recognizing which thoughts that you have are that you're very like attached to, which of them are actually working for you and creating results, and which are actually holding you back. So that's, again, very, very connected to the message that came through spiritually about being willing to self-promote and being willing to market yourself more, and not thinking of that as like something, you know, that's not good. I mean, we have culturally a lot of negative connotations and suspicions about salespeople, but I feel in your case, Aquarius, that it's really important for you to get more involved in sales in some way. I think that's really going to be how you lift yourself into an even better situation right now. And it's going to involve you being open, right? It's going to involve you being more open to ways of interacting in the world that maybe you have, like in the past, thought like, oh, that's too slimy, like I'm not going to do that, or oh, I would be not being ethical if I like really sent this email out 3 times, or I would be just bothering people if I talked about myself and like my services. This is some deep work, as even as I'm saying these, like I can completely understand where you're coming from with that, Aquarius. If you are an Aquarius who's struggled with that, it can feel icky, but I think that this card, as your path in April, is really saying like you need to look at those things, because this is the deep, dark waters. The octopus is a creature of the deep. And this represents, an unconscious, very unconscious side of yourself, which is in a very real way sticking you to ideas and concepts that really are not supportive of your overall success in life. And I think that like the uncertainty of these times and the variability of these times due to the economic crisis that's going on right now and the coronavirus in general, what we're getting here is this sense of like, in this time of uncertainty, this is your moment to release yourself from anything that has been like holding you back from reaching your potential, because you need that potential right now. Like that's when this is being called to the forefront. That's also ironically when other people need you to be at your full potential as well, because other people are going to need you. Aquarius, they're going to need your upliftment, or they're going to need your product, or they're going to need your service, or they're going to need you to talk them through something, or to provide an alternative or a solution. So you have to be working at your highest potential. And now is really, I mean, we talk about shadow work on this channel. We talk about negative belief systems. We talk about, letting go of things that no longer serve us. And these are blanket things. These are topics that everybody in the new age, talks about from time to time, but this is where the rubber hits the fucking road, Aquarius. This is where you really have to dig deep and let go of assumptions about yourself that are negative, assumptions about your business or your industry that are negative, assumptions about your capacity and your potential that are negative and therefore, untrue, because they're skewed in darkness. They're skewed in this unexamined part of your brain, and we all have that. And I hope that I'm not coming on too strongly, but I think that this is a message that's going to be really, really supportive to you in the long term. So hopefully this is beneficial. But what we see as a result of this deeper work here, where you're releasing these negative assumptions, the sea serpent is talking about a stirring up of your creativity. This card is associated with the second chakra, which is the seat of our creative energy in our physical body. So what we see here is that the snake or the sea serpent eating its own tail is showing this rejuvenation happening and this renewal happening of you as a creative being. So you're being very stirred, like your creativity here with the octopus, your creativity is being stirred. Things are being enlivened and awakened within you that are like causing new ideas and new conclusions. And in order to really make the most of it, you have to be willing to see those hurdles that you've put in place within yourself as far as like negative beliefs and assumptions, and you have to consciously be willing to step over them, all right, to really reach the maximum potential here. Let's take a look at your cards. Wow, we've got Knight of Wands again. So multiple signs have gotten Knight of Wands as the first card, so it's really interesting. The Fool, Ace of Cups, and Ace of Pentacles. All these aces in the Fool. Wheel of Fortune, 3 of Pentacles, 8 of Cups, and 4 of Pentacles. Interesting. So definitely the first half of April, we're seeing a very strong push towards some kind of new growth in your life. The aces represent opportunity for me. They don't necessarily represent like something that is a given or something that's kind of going to happen no matter what. It's more like an opportunity that you can choose to take advantage of, or you can choose not to. So in the first half of April, there are these offerings coming to you, whether that is in the physical realm or, with the Ace of Cups, it could also be a spiritual aspect or a creative, like an internal experience of creativity, such as an inspiration for a new vision, a feeling of being supported, a feeling of faith. a feeling of love and openness with your life, and a feeling of the capacity for renewal, the capacity for healing. Whether it's like that type of thing, or with the Ace of Pentacles representing like a new job offer or a change in your material existence. It could also be a project that's coming to you that people are working on that they want to invite you to work on with them. It could be a project that you are sparking for yourself. But this implies that the Ace of Cups and the Ace of Pentacles are showing a new relationship to work in your life, like a new relationship to work, a new relationship to the idea of how you work, and a new relationship to the idea of money and income and earnings as well. So what we're seeing here is a lot of potential in the first half of April. New ideas that you are pursuing with veracity, new ideas that you are pursuing with vitality and enthusiasm. So the first 2 weeks of April, I would say, with the Fool and the Knight of Wands, with these two aces, if you have something creative that you are considering working on, and you are homebound like many of us Aquarius, I think this first half of the month is like, mwah, it's like fucking perfect for starting this new journey, whether it's writing a book from start to finish. I mean, you'd be amazed if you have some time off of your regular work. You don't need to clean your house. You don't need to do extra additional things. Get yourself in front of your computer or your typewriter or whatever and just write every single day for 2 weeks, and you will be amazed at how much you can get done. You could finish a rough draft of a manuscript, or you could edit a previous draft of a manuscript and come to a really good point by the end of the first half of April. I also want to point out that the full moon in Libra is actually in trine to your sign, because it's an air moon, and so that's going on April 8th. So that really kicks off the beginning of the second week of April with a really nice burst of positive energy. And I could see you really feeling excited about the new territory that you're going into around the time of that full moon. I think that you're going to be studying new things. I think you'll be engaging yourself in some kind of new area of expertise, creating new content, sharing more. The Fool is also ruled by Uranus in the more modern associations of the cards. And, of course, in modern astrology, Uranus is seen to be the ruler of Aquarius. Now, I personally consider Uranus to have an affinity for the sign of Aquarius, but I don't consider him the ruler necessarily. However, when I see a Uranus card with the Fool in that time period where you're having that really delicious full moon in Libra trining your sign, I do see the potential for like radical new ideas. We also have a new moon in Taurus on the 22nd, which is going to be conjunct Uranus. So I think that like there is a lot of Uranian energy around you at this time, and I think it's totally possible that you could be experiencing things in your life that are really like giving you a newfound sense of freedom in a lot of ways, like a newfound sense of potential, and what's possible for you is totally being reformatted right now for you, Aquarius. So that really also fits with the third week of April. I'm really seeing this to be a time of great change when it comes to your work life. And again, we've seen that theme kind of echoed in the first half of April. So this could be like the finalization of those changes with the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune is card 10, meaning that it is kind of like the last card in the first 10 cards of the major arcana, but it also, as the first double-digit number of the major arcana, it represents a new beginning. So there's a sense of like an ending and a new beginning, especially when it comes to your colleagues or a community that you're in, or maybe even your industry, because the Three of Pentacles is a teamwork card. It's also a card that has a lot to do with craftsmanship and kind of working with other people. Sometimes I think it's very, it's in good taste to point out that even when we are like people that have been sort of self-made. Let's say, for example, you don't come from money, you don't come from, a background where people were just encouraging you all the time to pursue your entrepreneurial interests or to pursue your talents or your dreams. Maybe you really are self-made. A lot of Aquarians are, but with the Three of Pentacles card, it also is kind of showing this sense of like recognizing that even if you have lifted yourself up in life, there's also been a lot of collaboration involved in that, especially for an Aquarius. You see yourself as part of a larger number, or you see yourself as part of a collective. And I think that in the third week of April, there's something changing in regards to that collective. You may be starting to network with different people in the third week of April. There could be a shift, maybe even globally, with the Wheel of Fortune, because this is one of the universal energy cards, indicating that there could be outside changes that you don't necessarily have control over, which are bringing in the potential for a more social environment. So one thing that I would say as a potential here is that the cards could be telling us that social distancing may be, we may not have to do that as much by the third week of April. Now, I can't say for sure, but these cards do suggest a change when it comes to social situations or work situations. So you could either have some kind of a revolution happening within your career or within your industry, or you could be seeing travel bans being lifted or something along those lines in the third week of April. So you could be seeing like that you can start to have more face-to-face conversations, or if you're still working from home, if all of us are still mostly working from home, then you could be just engaging and networking with new people in a broader, like kind of global circle. So you could be doing more marketing work online, for example, or you could be joining a new team that works remotely, that type of thing, by the third week of April. So that looks really good. I think that your skills and your natural social abilities are going to be coming into full fruition at that time, and I see you really being able to shine in that arena, whether it's a digital arena remotely over the internet, or it's, people getting to start hanging out together again face to face. That could also be a theme, but either way, I see you shining during that third week. So that's going to be really good as well. It could bring in money as well, because you've got some good money cards in this reading. So that could bring in some money, or it could bring in kind of like a stream of income, like a new stream of income for you. Now, the last week of April, I feel like there's some kind of difficulty in saying no to something or someone. This could be kind of separate from the other themes that we've seen in your reading. You may have someone who is trying to continue working with you in some way, but you just know you're ready for a change. It could also be, looking at these cards, that you yourself are attached to the familiarity of a certain situation in your life with the Four of Pentacles. But the Eight of Cups, I feel, is really showing that ultimately I think you will make the decision to put down whatever it is that you're hanging on to, because I think you're going to recognize that it's not quite right for you anymore, or you're going to recognize that there's more to gain if you kind of temporarily set something down and come back to it later. So have some strength in that last week of April. And if you are struggling to let go of something, even just temporarily, I want you to just take heart. I want you to trust your path, because you ultimately are the one who has to choose your journey, in life. Your adventure takes you on a unique path through the woods. And I think that it's really important that you allow yourself as a creative person to engage fully in whatever that path needs to look like. So really trust yourself. If you have to say no to someone, or if you have to walk away from a situation, this is not necessarily the final, like, saying goodbye. It's not necessarily something that's going to last forever, but I do think that it's something that, at least for now, needs to be released. So trust that, because you have so many new things coming in that it's like, these are really good things. This is really good energy. With the Ace of Cups, could be like new positive relationships come into your life as well. So I think it's really important that you just focus on that, focus on the direction where things are opening up, and not so much where they're sort of closing, right? Let's take a look at your Bob Ross message. Anything we don't like, we'll turn it into a happy little tree or something. Anything we don't like, we'll turn it into a happy little tree or something. I think that's so perfect and really apt considering the last two cards that we just looked at, which were kind of about like setting yourself free from something that may on some level be familiar and comfortable, but also isn't really like opening up for your growth. The message is you can paint whatever you want into your life. And so don't feel like every stroke, just taking the painting analogy, don't feel like every stroke is this final thing. Don't be afraid to make mistakes because you can always paint over them later or turn them into a little happy tree or something. You always have a silly, lighthearted option available to you. No matter what kind of situation you're in your life, the power is in your ability to have a sense of humor, to take yourself and to take life lightly, and to recognize that ultimately we all are eternal beings anyway. So whatever happens is happening in this field that's almost like a game. It's almost like a video game. And so just take, the things that matter, the people you love, the causes that resonate to you, the truth that's indwelling in your heart. Take those energies and hold them close to you. And anything that's heavy, anything that is full of resistance, anything that feels like fear, recognize your ability to diffuse it. Just dissolve that energy, and recognize that the truth really is comical. The truth is light of heart. And I think that, that's really what this reading is here to tell you, is that you're skipping into a joyful new life experience in spite of everything that's going on. That is what's happening for you on the broader level, Aquarius. So be open and take care of yourself as well. Take care of your physical body. Nurture yourself, get plenty of rest, stretch, exercise if you can at home or however. Drink some nice herbal tea, stay hydrated, do good things for your body right now. We can all benefit from that. And I'm just encouraging you to take the best care of yourself ever. And I'm sending you so much love. I hope you have an amazing month in April. Thank you so much for being here. And I will put the information for the April Fool's Journey Tarot Challenge if you want to follow along and learn about the major arcana with me. It's a free challenge, just a way for us to hang out and connect over on Instagram. So I'll put that below. If you would like to let me know that you're still with me and that you're enjoying the reading, leave me a little flower emoji down below. I'd love some flowers. I'd love to get some flowers today. So leave me a little flower emoji, or just write the word flowers if you don't have emojis, and I will be super excited to see that and sending each of you tons of love in return. Little comments like that, I can't stress enough. Engagement on my channel really helps me to know that you guys are with me and that you benefit from these readings too. And so those little things just go so long, so far. And I also want to say that they help support my channel in YouTube's algorithms as well. So if you would like to support this channel, you can give this video a thumbs up. You can leave me a little comment. You can send me a donation. Even just $1 is freaking amazing and so helpful to support all the time and energy that I put into these readings. I hope you have an amazing month in April. Take care of yourself, Aquarius. Mwah, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.